This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, with the merger of 3 local fire departments official, we talk with the chief about what's next for the firefighters and the community. Good evening and thank you for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Karen. I appreciate you investing some time in us. On tonight's show, we'll kick off a new history segment and hear some stories from a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. But first up, it's our headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The merger between the McAdoo, Keystone, and Tresco fire departments is now official, and I sat down on Wednesday with Chief Bob Leschko to get more details. All right, let's dive into this merger now with some local fire departments. Here with us is Fire Chief Bob Leschko, now Chief of KMT Emergency Services. That's Keystone, McAdoo, Tresco, all falling under the McAdoo Fire Department right now. Chief, thank you for coming in, explaining some of this. First off, for the firefighters, for these volunteers, what changes now that there's a merger? And you said you responded to a call almost immediately when the merger happened.
Yeah, there's really no changes in what they have. I mean, maybe a change of a color or something like that on bunker gear, but other than that, there's no everything ran seamlessly. As of yesterday morning at 7 a.m., we started being dispatched all together through Schuylkill County Communications, and then of course around 9 a.m. yesterday morning was the first call over in Tresco. We had a motor vehicle accident on Market Street. Everybody's seeing the same service that they're used to seeing, and we hope that they will actually see an upgrade in some services, upgrade in response times because of the merger and people now being in different strategic areas.
All right, and if we don't air this on the same day yesterday, it would be March 1st. And my mom lives in McAdoo. I lived in Calares for a little bit. The firefighters have to all know each other, I guess. I mean, is that how it is?
Yeah, we all work together. Prior to this, when we started this project 18 months ago, we all were on automatic response. We were responding to Tresco. Tresco was responding to McAdoo, and Keystone was always responding in McAdoo with us, and they were also responding to Tresco. So we began to all respond together anyway. So as we moved into this, where reality became reality, it wasn't much of a big change.
We've talked in the past just how important you guys need money, and it's such an important service that you provide, and you're almost fire chief / chef when I see you over there cooking for these fundraisers. This will help all the fire departments out, I guess, with more help.
Yeah, everybody's going to merge together, so we were able to now bring in an additional 15 to 20 people, if not a little more, on top of what we already had. So hopefully it'll allow the guys to be able to, when we are there for an event or something else, it gives some people a break, and it'll allow people to decrease that amount of time they need to spend on other stuff other than the training and the mandatory stuff we have to do, which fundraising is technically something mandatory because we need it in order to operate. But hopefully we can do it now with more people and allow people to get some of their family time back, which is very important also.
Chief, last thing, this seems kind of important too. There will be a change kind of with Social Hall that you were talking about.
Yeah, over in Tresco, they just need to realize that the Tresco Canteen, which is now named the Tresco Hosey, has split from the fire company, and anything that they're doing over there, none of those proceeds benefit the fire company. That was a decision between the Tresco organization that they were going to split, and those people are going on their own, looking at their own charitable aspect as to what they're going to support. So we just wanted to make sure people are aware that that is not part of the fire company anymore.
The Social Hall, the McAdoo Fire?
The McAdoo Social Hall is still there. We still have ours, and that is fully supporting of the fire company, and that will be kept for it. We do have, like we said, the Keystone building we're looking to rent out for events, and if people are looking for places to have a party, that's going to be another form of income. So we have gained some stuff, and we're changing some stuff around that we do.
All right. Well, Chief, we appreciate all the information. Thank you for being on FYI. Related to that story, I believe the Lenten food sale is going on at the McAdoo Fire Department. Check out their Facebook page, though, for official information. Back to the headlines. Fire temporarily closed a bank in Shenandoah, but it reopened its doors to the public today. National Pen Bank sustained smoke and water damage after a 3-alarm fire destroyed an adjacent apartment building on Valentine's Day. The fire has been ruled arson. The Pennsylvania primary election is April 26th, and you can register to vote or update your information online. Since its launch in August, more than 98,000 people have used Pennsylvania's online registration site. Simply go to register.votespa.com. The deadline is March 28th. Tomorrow is First Friday in downtown Hazleton. This month's celebration has a historical theme. Krista Schneider, Executive Director of the Downtown Hazleton Alliance for Progress, previews some of the festivities.
Hazleton Library is doing a special children's program focusing on the history for kids, the Hazleton's history. That's a program, like I said, for children. Facets of Dance is doing like Irish step dancing, Irish dance for kids as well. There's various times throughout the evening for different age groups. Dragonfly is having a really nice event in addition to their Meet the Artist event, which they have every first Friday. This month, actually, they're featuring Adam Martin, who's an artist. There's a book signing at Frankie's Pizzeria. A local author, Wilma Ruggiero, she wrote a children's book, and so The Orange Barge, and so she's having her book signing there at Frankie's. That's in the evening.
For a complete list of events, go to downtownhazleton.org, and I'll have more on one of those events a little later on in the show. Later on FYI, check out my interview with Major Harris, who was an All-American quarterback at West Virginia University in the late 80s. See why he'll be back in the Hazleton area next week. And right after this break, it's a brand new FYI segment featuring a board member from the Greater Hazleton Historical Society and Museum. Take a step back in time when we come right back.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
We're launching a new segment here on FYI all about our area's history, and being featured in this segment we will have Charles McElwee, who is a board member for the Greater Hazleton Historical Society. And Charles, you guys have a big event coming up for this First Friday. You're doing trolley tours of Dungle Hill. Now, if I messed up the pronunciation, I apologize. I'm from the other side of town, the Italian section, Nanny Goat Hill. Exactly, right. Yeah, lots of hills in Hazleton. But you guys are doing this tour starting at 5:30 at the corner of Broad and Wyoming Streets. Check out to see if they still have tickets. There is a Facebook page and a website for this event. You're starting at, first of all, did I say that right? Was it Donegal Hill?
No, you got it wrong.
Okay.
No, it's Donegal Hill.
Okay.
People usually say Donegal, but it's actually pronounced Donegal.
All right, so 0 for 1. I'm off to a bad start in these new segments. But you're starting this tour at St. Gabriel's Church, which I got married there. Every time I walk in there, I think, wow, it looks like St. Patrick's Cathedral. There's a reason for that.
There is a reason. The church was modeled to look like St. Patrick's Cathedral by the architect who designed it, Peter Sheridan. He was a native of Hazleton, lived on South Laurel Street, right behind the church. So his office was in the Markle building, and it's pretty neat to think that the individual who had this vision for how the church should look when they tore down the second church lived right behind it, and he modeled it to look like a 13th century French Gothic cathedral, which is in alignment with what his vision was, which was to look like St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan.
Beautiful, beautiful church. And now I wanted to ask, the last stop on the tour is at the Battered Mug, which, okay, you think St. Patrick's Day, sometimes you think you should have an alcoholic beverage, or two at least. Right. And this is interesting. I did not know. It is the oldest continuously operating bar in the Hazleton area. There's some strong history there at the Battered Mug.
There is, and we'll be talking about that during the tour. Ann Vintieri, another board member of the Historical Society, will be giving the full story behind the Battered Mug and the stories that have been told there over the years. It's the oldest bar in the city dating back to the 1860s, really when the Irish population was really starting to make that part of the city its stronghold.
I wonder how far back the wings go. I want to ask you about this. Now, when this was a predominantly Irish neighborhood, what would St. Patrick's Day have been like back then?
It was a major cultural celebration and event. So from the 1860s really up until the early 1900s, it was a major parade that would walk through the streets of Donegal Hill. And the reason it's called Donegal Hill is because most of the people who immigrated from Ireland during that period were from the western section of Donegal, which is in the northwestern tip of Ireland. So they settled really beginning in Beaver Meadows, then shot out into the north side, and then really made their stronghold what became named in their honor, Donegal Hill, in the 1870s.
Obviously doing this because it's around St. Patrick's Day. And I asked you, I said, were there any famous Irishmen who came out of Hazleton to do anything super famous? I'm a sports guy, and you kind of surprised me with your answer.
Well, Hubie Brown is a native Hazletonian. I forget where he grew up or was born in the city, but he was a New York Knicks coach, but strong Donegal Hazleton roots. Another notable Hazeltonian from in the Irish community was Thomas Kennedy, who was Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania in the 1930s under Governor Earl, and later became president of the United Mine Workers in the early 60s.
Proud Irish history here in Hazelton. Donegal.
Donegal. Yeah.
I'll get it. Well, Charles, thank you for joining us
Thanks,
now,
Sam.
and he will be back as we continue our historical segments here on FYI.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Word on the street, not specifically this street, but word on the street is that it's going to be near 70 degrees next week. I can't confirm that, but I can give you our local weather forecast for the next 4 days from the National Weather Service. Tonight, snow expected mainly after 1 a.m. Our low will be 22 degrees. We have an 80% chance of snow, and we could get up to 1 inch. Here's the 4-day outlook now on Friday. Snow on Friday as well. Snow showers after 2 p.m. High near 36 degrees. Chance of precipitation is 80%, and we could accumulate around an inch of snow. Friday night cloudy with a low of 22 degrees as snow moves out of the area. On Saturday, 20% chance of rain and snow showers after 2 p.m., but a partly sunny day with a high in the upper 30s. On Saturday night, 30% chance of rain and snow showers before 8 p.m. Our low will be 24 degrees. Sunday, 30% chance of snow showers before 8 a.m. Partly sunny, high in the upper 30s. Sunday night, partly cloudy, low of 27 degrees. And then on Monday, it heats up a bit, mostly sunny with a high in the mid-40s. And then Monday night, mostly cloudy with a low of 36 degrees. Moving right along to our midday winning lottery numbers on FYI. Pick 2, 3-2. Pick 3, 4-1-6. Pick 4, 1-4-6-0. Pick 5, 2-2-5-3-8. Find out what Major Harris was doing before the national championship game against Notre Dame in 1989. It's pretty funny. Check it out next. Right now, though, it's Law Talk.
Hello again and welcome to Law Talk. Today we're going to talk about another part of our auto insurance coverage. It's a very important part, a part that you don't have to buy, a part that you're not required to buy by law, but it's a part of the coverage that we think is very important, and that is uninsured motorist coverage and underinsured motorist coverage, and Alexis will tell you about that.
Uninsured and underinsurance coverage is not mandated by Pennsylvania law. So if you're filling out your insurance paperwork, you're looking to get insurance for a vehicle, you're not mandated to get the un or underinsurance coverage. We strongly advise our clients to get the un and underinsurance coverage for several reasons. One being individuals, we have deadbeat drivers, for example. You have a driver who wants to get a vehicle, wants to get their registration, they have car insurance, and then a couple months later they decide not to pay the premiums. Therefore, they become uninsured. If you're hit by an uninsured driver and you don't have uninsured coverage, then there's no remedy for you. There's no claim that you can take for recovery regarding that accident. For underinsurance coverage, if you're struck by somebody who has the minimal coverage, which would be $15,000, and you have significant injuries, then you're also in a tight spot, because if you don't have underinsurance coverage, you're not able to make a claim for additional recovery. And in Pennsylvania, the law says that $15,000 is the minimum coverage that one needs to have in order to be an insured driver on the road. Having said that, if you're struck with by somebody who has minimal coverage, that being $15,000, you have significant injuries, you have significant economic losses in the form of wage loss, you're not able to make a claim for recovery of that with your own insurance if you don't have the underinsurance coverage. So it's important to have both un and underinsurance coverage as part of your insurance policy when you're looking at those options.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
We have a football legend, college football Hall of Famer with us right now on FYI. Major Harris, All-American at West Virginia University, finished third in the Heisman voting, I believe, in 1989. I could keep going on with your accomplishments, but I only have 3 or 4 minutes, sir. We appreciate your time, and you were a dual threat quarterback before it was cool. Now you see it a lot. Where did all those skills come from? Were you running around like that in youth football? You know, when did you start being an accurate thrower, and where did all your athletic ability come from?
It come from just like playing on the streets, to be honest. And then once I got coached, so to speak, I kind of brought, my street game to, being disciplined and being coached, and it turned out pretty good.
Man, I show to play. Everyone who watches knows I'm a big Penn State fan, and it was listed on YouTube as the play, and I counted 7 white jerseys of my Nittany Lions at linebacker U missing. And I mean, that's usually a very good defensive school, Penn State. So you made some crazy plays like that. You said you were just improvising. What did you see on the field? I mean, with your vision, that people said you just saw the field differently, did you?
Well, one thing when you think about it, that's something you can't coach for when the guy's scrambling. You might try to do things in practice to kind of like stop him from doing different things, but you can't really coach that. So when you got a quarterback, like you take Cam Newton, for instance, when you got to worry about him jumping out the pocket, running, you know what I mean? It makes it tough for the defense.
Yeah, who do you watch now, maybe in the NFL or college, and you say, all right, maybe he reminds you of yourself?
Well, I like all the quarterbacks. Cam Newton, I like Aaron Rodgers. A lot of quarterbacks that run the ball, because you can kind of break a defense down. When you drop back, they cover everybody, and you run, pick up 10, 12 yards.
It's amazing. College football coming a long way in general. How much have you seen it change? I mean, do you see the game now and think, all right, I could still, compete if I was, a little bit younger in the NFL? You think it's changed a lot?
Well, yeah, I think now with coaches, where it's, they're trying to move up in the ranks, so to speak. You got offensive coordinators, they're being a little bit more fancy with their play calling because they're trying to make a name for themselves. Whereas back in the days, you had more loyalty with coaches, where a coach, might be with the head coach for 10, 12 years. Now, it's a thing where, well, if I can get my name out there, I might get a head coaching job.
Now, were you at the Heisman Trophy ceremony? Did you get an invite there? I know you finished, I think, 3rd that year in 1989.
Yeah, I was up there twice. I was up there as a sophomore, as a junior.
What's that like as a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, with all that attention, and that's a prestigious place?
Yeah, definitely, and it's funny because, when I look back on it, I was up there with Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer, Troy Aikman, Hall of Famer, Andre Ware won it the next year. But it's just, as you get older and you look back or you look at some of the guys in the pros that you was basically on stage with and how they went on to be successful as pro quarterbacks and pro running backs.
Incredible. And you're going to be helping out in the Hazleton area at a camp. You're going to be seeing a lot of kids when coming through that you're going to be coaching. What do you hope they get out of football? Now, many of them not going to be at that Heisman Trophy ceremony, but what do you hope they would get out of football?
Well, just have fun. You know what I mean? You're young, and that's the one thing about it. When I look back on my life as playing football, practice, and hanging out with the guys, it's having fun.
You had a memorable career, played against Notre Dame for a national championship when you were in college. What do you remember? I mean, what's one of your favorite memories that you have?
Well, the funny thing, I remember playing a video game all week when we was out at the bowl game, and Kaye Warrior, I think that's what it was. I got addicted to it. But, I really don't remember too much about the game other than when I got hurt, because it's all like, over 20 years ago. So, but I remember everything leading up to the game, then the game was kind of like a blur.
You remember the video game. Were you a video gamer? I mean, where did that come from?
Well, it was just one of the things as far as when we was at the bowl game, you trying to find out, trying to do something while you out there to get your mind off football. And I remember they had video games set up, and I just became a fanatic with the video game.
That's pretty funny. So you went from there, you were drafted by Los Angeles Raiders at the time. Then you said you got an offer up in Canada. You took that and got to play with Doug Flutie, another all-time great. What was that experience like?
Oh, it was a great experience. I would have to say, when the size to show you it can be deceiving, because, Flutie wasn't that really that big. And to actually play with him, see the plays he make, and to go on and win all them Grey Cups and MVPs up there, I got to show you what type of player he was. So, playing with Flutie or playing behind Flutie, it showed me a lot and it helped me a lot because, former Heisman Trophy winner, All-American and stuff like that. So when I look back on my career, even though my career didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, I got to play with some of the guys that went on to be some of the best ever playing the game.
Were you hurt? Is that what ultimately, why the career, what happened? I mean, when you were coming toward the end of your career?
Well, it was more of a thing where it wasn't in my cards, to be honest. I would be on the team, but my number was really never called, which, it happens. But, like I said, when I look back on the best time of my life, playing football, pursuing, traveling to different cities, to playing against different teams and like that. So only thing I would probably change is winning the national championship.
We'll hear more from Major Harris in the coming weeks here on FYI. It was great getting to talk with him, and we'll also talk with former NFL player Lamont White as well. Currently, we're looking at the FYI Standard Speakers scoreboard. The Valley Eagles won the Anthracite League Championship in junior high boys basketball. The Eagles used a 14-0 run in the fourth quarter to fuel their victory. On the girls' side, Drums won the junior high title. 7th grader Julia Morocco came off the bench to make a difference for the champs. Anthony Bellino has full coverage of both of these games at StandardSpeaker.com. That's sports for tonight. FYI will be back after the social report. Thursday is $1 burger night at Bottlenecks. Get a juicy 4th pound burger for only $1 all night long.
Hey golfers, have we got the perfect vacation spot for you? Myrtle Beach. Signature Golf Packages builds and reserves the finest and most reasonably priced Myrtle Beach vacations. From scheduling your golf tee times to making your hotel accommodations. Oceanfront to golf course villas. Mark Passon, a Hazleton native, has been doing this for 10 years. Expect excellent customer service, local knowledge of all the courses, and the best golf vacation of a lifetime. Call now to learn all of the specials that Signature Golf Packages can offer you or your group. 866-462-9885 or book now at signaturegolfpackages.com.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Holy Rosary Parish will be hosting a luncheon on Saturday, March 12th from 10:30 a.m. to noon. The meal will be held at Catholic Social Services, located at 214 West Walnut Street in Hazleton. There is no charge for the meal. All are welcome to attend, and the parish would like to say a special thank you to the Hazleton Rotary for their support. And one more quick announcement. The American Red Cross will be holding a home fire campaign with smoke alarm installations on Saturday, March 5th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They are in need of volunteers to help share critical, life-saving information. For more information, please call 570-455-9517 or email homefirenepa@redcross.org. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Marjorie M. Callan of West Hazleton. Mass is Saturday at 10 a.m. at the St. Gabriel's Church. Friends may call Saturday from 8:45 to 10 a.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Catherine M. Bozar of McAdoo. Graveside services Friday at noon at the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Cemetery. The Damiano Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. Carol Ann Petruzzi of Cunningham. Funeral is Monday at 9:15 a.m. from the Firo Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Rosemary G. Dietrich of Weatherly. Private services are under the direction of the Philip J. Jeffries Funeral Home. Martha T. Wasno of Hazleton. Mass is Saturday at 12:30 p.m. at the Holy Name of Jesus Parish. Friends may call from 11 to 12:30 at the church. Arrangements are by the John J. Pustai Funeral Home. Adam T. D'Albero of Drums. All services are private and will be held at the convenience of the family. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting the family with the arrangements. And Joseph M. Yenchek, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. from the Rosenstock Funeral Home. Friends may call Saturday from 9:30 to 11 a.m. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Brian Lucas of Drums. Brian, if you're watching, give us a call, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
Award yourself 15 FYI points if you remember how many outfits I had on during the show tonight. Remember, 100 points gets you lunch with Lisa Sugar. That's exciting. Tomorrow, Adopt Me, short shots, and more. We'll see you then. Take it easy, everyone.